Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Happy Friday, everyone. My name is Justin Moore, founder of Creator Wizard, where I teach you how to find and negotiate your dream partnerships. Anyone in the comments want to get a dream partnership with their favorite brand or their favorite company that they've been using or following for many, many years? Then you are in the right place, my friends. A little bit of a new time for the live stream today because I had an event at my kids' school, and family takes priority over everything in my life. So appreciate you guys being somewhat flexible for that. So let me know where you're tuning in from in the chat if you are excited for the weekend, because I very much am. Today we were talking about why I do not manage or represent creators. This is a question that I get constantly, and so I wanted to talk a little bit about it because I do think it's actually an interesting line of reasoning, of thinking for yourself in your own creator business when you're trying to make tough decisions. Because there's lots of pros and cons when you're faced with anything in your life, a tough decision, not just as a creator, but even if you're in your own professional career, there's always, like my favorite thing is to write a list of pros and cons and try to figure out, what are all the different things swirling around in your head that could, that are complicating this decision, right? And so I wanted to kind of talk you through my logic of how I decided to become a sponsorship coach, because I think it might be pretty illustrative for y'all. So, all right, who do we got in the chat here? We've got Masa Vera turning in on TikTok. We've got David Varr from Vancouver, Canada on LinkedIn. We've got KMH family. What is up? We've got Andy all the way from the UK. This time is great for me. Andy, isn't it really late though? Isn't it like 9 p.m. or I don't even know, to like 11 p.m., midnight? I don't know. It's late there in the UK, right? But anyways, thanks for tuning in. Who do we got on the TikTok or the Instagram chat? Let me tune in there. I'm going live in a zillion different places, y'all, so I appreciate y'all. I had like the most unbelievable Mexican food prior to this. Like, oh my gosh, I had like a special shrimp burrito. It was amazing. We've got Rhea, we've got Brim Factor tuning in on IG as well. And we've got Drea's Curious Cuisine. We've got our Flo. What is up, Cheryl? Great to see you. K Jams. It's Miko. And we emailed Miko. Yes, great to see you. Great to see you here in the live chat. We got maybe a slightly different crew today because I'm going live at a non-traditional time. So cool to see some new faces and some new names in the chat. All right. So again, my time is your time. So I'm definitely going to be answering all of your questions related to partnerships and sponsorships and negotiations and whatever you want, because my time is your time on these live streams. But I did want to get the juices flowing and talk about this topic, which is that why I do not manage or represent creators. So I did recently share a bit about my decision to shut down my influencer marketing agency, Trending Family, right? So I made a video on my YouTube channel about that a few weeks back. But ever since I started educating creators about brand partnership strategy, I have really had a surprising number of people just straight up say, hey, you know what? This info is great, but I would prefer to just focus on the creative stuff. Can you just manage me instead? Right? I can't tell you how many times I've had this conversation and people have asked me this. And honestly, it's been tempting, right? Especially because a lot of the creators who are asking are very big and have deals in hand representing a huge amount of money, right? Consistent 5 and 6 figure deals, right? So if my cut was 15 to 20%, which is pretty standard in this space for a manager, well, you could do the math, right? It could be a lot of money, right? But after a lot of soul searching, I decided to go all in on being a sponsorship coach. And so I wanted to talk about how I made that decision and how you can make tough decisions too. Okay, so the first reason that I decided not to manage creators directly is about longevity, right? The way I kind of look at this is like you give a creator a sponsorship and they'll have cash for a month, right? A finite amount, right? If you teach a creator how to negotiate a sponsorship, they'll have cash every month, right? And yes, that was a riff on the, teach a man to fish proverb. Don't at me, right? But the point is that educating creators has a much longer lasting impact on their careers, right? And so by giving you the tools to negotiate your own sponsorships, you become empowered to take control of your own financial life, right? And that empowerment will last a lifetime. And so I think the lesson here is the question you have to ask yourself is, will this decision that you're about to make be a short-term win or a long-term win? And which is more important to you right now? Right? Because I think a lot of times in life, we are very narrow-minded when it comes to making decisions. We're going to be like, okay, is this going to make me money in the next 90 days or money in the next 6 months? And there is a time and a place for that, without a doubt. Like maybe you are going to be taking some, deals that you maybe don't really want to take per se, but it's like, you got bills to pay or whatever. Like, I get it. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But at some point in your career, at some point in your life, it is necessary to take a step back and be a little bit more strategic and be like, okay, well, where do I want to end up in 5 years or in 10 years with my career, with this thing that I'm building? And so is this decision that I want to make, this decision that I'm trying to make right now, is this going to serve that mission or not? And if you can honestly say, like, you know what, it's actually going to take me further in the opposite direction, then maybe you don't make that decision. Maybe it means foregoing some short-term gains, and maybe that's a decision that you make, right? We got the Door fam tuning in on TikTok. Great to see you. I'm taking a drink here. Oh my gosh. Real quickly, got to acknowledge we got Paul from the Green Industry Podcast, one of my favorite creators. I'm honored to call him a friend, one of my one-on-one coaching clients. Paul just did a $20, $19.99 super chat for the DoorDash fund. So thankful for your content. Paul, thank you so much, man. That really appreciate that. And those of you who are new to this know that any of the super chats or any of the donations that you send on my Friday live streams, they go to the DoorDash fund because April and I order dinner every night for our date night in as parents, right? So Paul, always so appreciative of your partnership, man. It means a lot. Cal Burton, cash back. What is going on, Cal? Great to see you in the chat here. All right, so we're gonna plug right along here. I'm seeing some great questions come in here in the chat, and we're definitely gonna get to these. But I wanted to talk about, here is the second reason why I do not manage or represent creators, and it has to do with control, okay? I believe that creators should always have a grasp on how their business functions, especially when it comes to their finances, right? Offloading sponsorships entirely to a manager can actually be a little risky, right? Because it kind of gives you permission to check out, right? It's one thing to want to focus on the creative side of things, right? Totally legit. But you cannot completely ignore the business part, right? Particularly because it opens you up to the possibility of exploitation, right? I mean, there are tons of superstar athletes, right, who have lost millions thanks to questionable investments or even downright scams made on their behalf by their handlers, right, or their management. And so I'm not saying that the creator economy is full of vultures, right, like waiting to take advantage of the next successful creator, though there are certainly some out there like that, right? But what if your manager suddenly decided to quit, for example, and you have no idea how they're sourcing deal flow for you, or no idea how they are bringing some of these partnerships to fruition? Even if you could replace them within a couple months, you are still putting your livelihood in serious jeopardy, right? And so I realized that my ability to empower creators would be hugely amplified by giving them control over their financial destiny rather than by managing it for them, right? And so as a creator, you should understand exactly how your income is generated and be in control of that process, okay? And so I think that the lesson here is, will this decision that you're about to make give you more or less control over your future? What I want you to hear is that I am not saying do not delegate. That's the opposite of what I'm saying, actually. You absolutely should surround yourself with people who can help you, 2 + 2 = 5 kind of thing, right? They can actually exponentially help you grow and have a larger impact and serve more people if that's part of your mission, right? I absolutely am encouraging that. I have done that, right? But that's a big difference between trusting in people, right, that are deserving of that trust versus having no idea about what's going on in your business at all, solely because you're focused on your craft. And this is the age-old problem, I think, with artists and creatives and creators and influencers, right? They get into this for the love of the craft. They do not get into this thinking, I want to be a business person. In fact, perhaps this is, you started doing this to flee from the other stuff, from the office job or the 9 to 5 or whatever. And then somehow that, it took on a life of its own. And somehow now you're making money, right? But that is not an excuse to ignore all this other stuff. Because if you want to continue to do this stuff, you do have to put in place systems and educate yourself and invest in your knowledge so that you can continue to make great art, right? I don't know why, but this straw is like way harder to drink my water from today. All right. I got a question from the Brim Factor here in the IG chat, and I definitely am going to answer it, but I want to get through these first couple points here to get the juices flowing. So the third point here about why I do not manage or represent creators has to do with reputation. Okay. And I want to preface this by saying that there are a lot of amazing managers out there. Okay. But as someone who has seen all sides of the table, I want to give it to you straight. Okay. Many brands will actually avoid working with you if they see that you have a manager. Have you ever heard that? Because sadly, managers can sometimes have a reputation for being a pain in the butt for brands to work with. Some are slow at replying to emails, right? Some even kind of have a gatekeeping complex, right? Where they're just kind of even just reluctant to let brands get anywhere near the folks on their roster. And as a result, some brands think that dealing with a creator's manager is just more trouble than it's worth. And I just feel that it's important for you to be aware of this because it could potentially impact either your future deal flow or even your reputation, right? Because if you're allowing someone else to speak on your behalf, that can have a big impact on how you're being represented to brands, right? If your manager is difficult to work with, brands will think that you are difficult to work with, even if that's not the case, right? And so I think the lesson here, the question you have to ask yourself is, will this decision that you are about to make improve or potentially endanger your reputation as a creator? Okay, it's always something that you need to be asking yourself, okay? Moving right along. The fourth reason why I do not manage or represent creators is because of novelty, okay? Honestly, I am having so much fun getting to work with creators across a huge variety of different niches and platforms and industries, right? Podcasters, TikTokers, event organizers, YouTubers, community managers, you name it. It's just been blown my mind how many different types of folks have gravitated to the type of content and the type of strategy that I'm talking about. And right, so don't get me wrong, like I definitely worked with some amazing people when I ran my agency. But as a sponsorship coach, I am no longer limited to working with traditional influencer type creators, right? I'm now able to branch out and coach creators growing businesses on owned platforms too, right? I even helped a creator who started using my techniques to increase sales in his t-shirt printing business. He's also a creator, but right? And so it's I have realized over the years that again, 10 years in the industry, that you have to truly love what you do if you want to do it long term. And so for me, by expanding the types of creators that I'm able to serve, right, I wake up every single day with new and novel challenges, right? They say variety is the spice of life. That's what they say, right? And so I think that the lesson here is, will this decision that you are about to make help keep you engaged and interested in building your business, right? Because oftentimes, again, going back to this kind of whole short-term versus long-term thing, we make decisions that begin to create a business that we do not like and actually ultimately could grow to hate. I've talked to creators who have had a similar type of issue where they have started doing something that saw traction, let's say on TikTok, right? They were commenting, maybe they were commenting on news, like, or they were like a drama channel. They were talking about other people's drama, or they were like doing things that like they don't really truly fundamentally love talking about, but they started to see traction in it. And so they just doubled down on it. And then all of a sudden, fast forward, they now have, tens of thousands of followers perhaps, and they are known for that thing. And anytime they try and do any other type of content to get out of that niche, it doesn't work. It doesn't perform as well as the other, type of niche content that they were doing. And they get really almost like kind of get depressed because it's like, man, I spent all this time, developing, all this time creating content and developing this persona and this personality on social media, known for this thing that I don't really love. And it's like, what do I do? Just stop doing it? Do I keep doing it even though I don't really like it? Right. And so it's like this really, really challenging pickle that you can get in if you are not very intentional about this stuff early on, because you do not want to fast forward and wake up, to a, you've created a business for yourself, a content niche platforms that you just really don't like the content. You really don't like the community you're serving. That's just not a great place to be in. And so I have been very, very intentional about who I want to serve. And so I really want you to hear this, because if this has ever happened to you, or you're finding yourself in a situation like somewhat similar to this, I really, really would encourage you to kind of take a step back, sit and think, okay, like, is this really the direction I want to go in? Okay. All right. I've got one more thing I wanted to talk about here, which is, so this is the fifth reason why I do not manage or represent creators, is because of impact, right? So when you strip everything else away, I believe it comes down to this, right? I love this industry, right? I love the creator economy. I love being a creator. I love working with other creators, right? And so when I see people in this space just doing incredible work, and I'm able to play even a small role in helping them get paid their worth, it just gives me this like warm and fuzzy feeling inside that I just crave. Okay. And so ultimately my goal is to have an impact on as many people as I can. Right. And so I just want to keep sharing everything that I have learned over the years with as many people as it could possibly benefit. What is a better purpose in life than that? Right. And so I think the lesson is, will this decision that you're about to make fundamentally fulfill you? Truly. Could you honestly say that this will fulfill you? Because if the answer is no, then you need to do some soul searching. I really, really, truly believe that. One more thing before we get into Q&A. You might have heard me mention a few times that I have this mission to help creators big and small land 1 million sponsorships by 2032. So in 10 years, right? And so I am like so beyond thrilled and stoked to announce that I'm actually building a way to track it, y'all. Build a way to track this goal. So since y'all on this live stream, we're like kind of BFFs, right? We're doing this thing, right? You guys are here all the time. Would you like to be beta testers? I haven't like announced this publicly. I mean, I guess this is public, but I haven't made any like social posts about it or really talked about it much. Would you like to be beta testers? Because if you would, all you need to do is go to creatorwizard.com/million. creatorwizard.com/million, the word. Okay. And you can sign up to be a beta tester. Essentially, it is a leaderboard, which is going to allow us to create a community. This is going to be completely free, by the way, for us all to cheer each other on as we march towards this goal. Because you've been on this live stream, y'all know that when your niche neighbor, right, or another creator gets a deal, that is a good thing for you, right? Because that means that there are brands who are investing into your niche, because the moment they have a successful partnership with one creator, the next thing that marketing manager is going to think is, how can I find 20 more creators just like this person because it went so well? And so that is going to be your deal next week. Yeah, you got to reach out and get on their radar, right? Which is a lot of what I talk about, right? But it's just like this abundance mindset instead of the scarcity mindset when it comes to partnerships and sponsorships. That is why I want to create this mission. And so I've got the leaderboard, I've got the LED screen, which you can't really see right now here, but this is going to be a real time. I'm going to scoop back so you can see what it says. Okay, hold on, because it's blurred because I'm so close. Hold on. You see it? A million sponsorship challenge. Can you see it? Ugh. I don't know if you can see it now, but it says a million sponsorships challenge, right? And I would absolutely love. Will you be beta testers for me? creatorwizard.com/million. And please send me feedback if you're like on the user interface and the ability to this is just V1. This is the minimum viable product, MVP. We just spun it up and it is not, I just want to give a big shout out to Philip, who runs a company called Creator, and he's the one who helped, kind of design the dashboard and all that stuff. And so, wanted to give a big shout out to him because he's part of this project as we're bringing this to life. And so, I really would love your participation. And I want to create this community because I really truly believe that if we can all band together and infect other creators with this glorious abundance mindset of positivity, that it's going to have a ripple effect for everyone, right? And so we all can advocate for ourselves. We can all understand our worth and collectively help brands understand that paying creators, compensating them fairly, this is a really important thing to make this community thrive, to help your brand and things like that. So I really am just so passionate about this particular thing. And so, yeah, would absolutely love to have you as beta tester. That would mean so much to me. Shannon said, that is why you are doing great, Justin. Brands are going to figure out that all of your peeps are well-trained. It's so funny, Shannon. I have really toyed with the idea of creating some sort of certification, right? Or stamp of approval or something, right? So it's like if you are, if you've gone through the Brand Deal Wizard program, which was my 4-week training course, or you've gone through Gifted to Paid or whatever, and it's like you really understand, because folks who come, creators who come out on the other side of my program it's a complete night and day difference in terms of their mindset about how they approach partnerships. I think that's one of the things I'm most proud of, honestly. Proudest, most proud is most proud a word or proudest? I don't know. The things one of the things I'm proudest of is that a lot of creators come into it feeling angry at brands. Like, how dare this brand offer me this insulting amount, right? Or how dare the brand, offer me a free product instead of actually compensating me? And they come out from the other end having a much more empathetic heart around working with partners, working with brands, and really taking ownership over the fact that it's actually on you as a creator to educate them around why they should pay you. Right. And so when you approach these conversations with this empathetic heart, it's so much easier for you to just, number one, not get mad when they just say, hey, you know what, we can't do this, we don't have the budget. You'd be like, okay, that's great. Would love to keep in touch. And then you continue to follow up. And then who knows, in 6 to 9 months, right, when they realize that the quality of the work that comes with doing stuff, working with creators who are only doing it for free, they're going to maybe circle back to you and be like, oh, you know what? I'm going to go reach back out to Justin because I know he didn't accept the free product 9 months ago, but, I see the stuff he's posting. I've been following him. And so I'm going to go reach back out because I think that actually that's what we need. I can't tell you how many times it's happened to creators that I've worked with, right? And so it's like saying no is one of the most powerful words that you can have in your vocabulary as a creator. And so, again, helping educate creators to have this mindset of empathy, I think is and just believe, not believing that brands are the enemy, right? I see so many other kind of creator coaches and influencer coaches and stuff out there on social media being like, brands are evil. We got to screw them. We got to fight them. It's war. It's all this stuff. And it's just that is the exact opposite of my approach. I believe that brands are not the enemy. I believe working with brands is amazing if you can find the right partners who value what you're bringing to the table. And yes, it may take a little bit of footwork, but that's okay. That is okay. You are building a business and that's part of it. Right. And so, again, my approach definitely differs than other people, and that's okay. Everyone has their own tribe. But that's definitely how I approach this, is kind of the whole tough love mentor is something I've recently embraced, because it's I'm just being real with people. Is look, this attitude, this mindset that you have, this anger that you have towards these interactions with brands, you gotta check it at the door. If you want to have success, if you want to have, start making lots and lots of money, you have to stop seeing it as something like, well, the brand is like so lucky to partner with me. No, it's not about that. It's about a mutually beneficial partnership and how you can not only help them win, but how they can, help you win as well, right? I want to just quickly give a shout out to Andy here and Tony in the chat, because Tony says, I am still nervous about reaching out to brands though. Okay. And Andy gave him a pep talk and said, I have had some really good success reaching out to brands. Just make sure you are bringing them value. And if you have evidence of how you can bring value, then even better. I just wanted to acknowledge this real quickly, because then the moment later, Tony said, Andy, thank you for that. I am reaching out this afternoon. Do you see what we can do when we rally together, when we pull each other up, when we lift each other up? It can have an incredible impact. So Tony and Andy, big ups to you in the chat. Project Parenthood in the TikTok chat said, website again? Okay, Project Parenthood, it is creatorwizard.com/million, MILLION. Is that how you spell million? I think so. I'm just like, is that how you spell million? No, I don't have that written there. I think that's how I'm like, my mind is a blur today. I woke up at 3:45 a.m. today because I work out very, very early with my trainer. Oh, hello, darling.
Hi,
we got the weekly cameo. Come here, baby.
Hi, friends. How are you?
They can't see you on that one.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm just cleaning up a little bit.
Hold on, honey. Hold on a second. Look, we got another DoorDash fund from Paul.
Aw,
Paul is so kind.
Paul, you're so sweet. Thank you, Paul. You're the best.
Paul, I must say, I did tell April we had to congratulate you. I'm not gonna disclose anything, but huge congrats,
Good
man.
Good job, Paul.
Paul is killing it over here, guys.
You
Like,
yeah,
oh yeah, you're killing it. We're so proud of you. We got Shelly in the chat too. What's up, Shelly? We've got the Colorado whiskey guy. We've got who else? I saw someone else that I missed. We got Hazarial Costumes. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Okay. I am going to answer the Brim Factor's question because they have been waiting very patiently in the IG chat, so thank you. The Brim Factor says, I have a meeting with a brand looking to partner. This is the third brand. The other two didn't pull through, and I am kind of concerned that I'm doing something wrong. Maybe I'm charging too much or something. I literally couldn't sleep because of this. What do I do? Okay, so I need you to give me some more context, Brim Factor. So when did you have did you have calls with those other two brands, or was it over email? I need to know that. Let's see, when you are putting together like packages, sorry, I have cat hair in my mouth. I have 3 cats and I don't know how I'm getting cat hair in my mouth. Yeah. Guys, this is live. It's still there. Oh, I got it. Oh my gosh, that's so gross. I'm so sorry, but I can't talk with cat hair in my mouth. Okay. Okay, so the other thing I need to know, Brim Factor, is when you were going to have this meeting with the brand, this is my best advice, okay? So to not feel terrified about, these types of conversations, Zoom calls, whatever, is do your research, right? So instead of going into the call blind and you have no idea what they're going to ask you and you have all this trepidation and you feel like, oh my gosh, they're going to be asking me all these questions and I'm not good on my feet and I just don't want to look like an idiot, right? And so this is the mindset a lot of times when creators go into these types of partnership calls. And so the best way to prevent that anxiety and the best way to kind of put yourself in a position of leadership and have more of a balanced footing with the brand rather than giving them kind of all the leverage is do research, right? So you look at their blog, look at what they're posting on Instagram, maybe, right? If that's a marketing channel for them, look what they're posting on LinkedIn. Or do they have any open job postings that you can read to see what kind of skills that they're looking for in new hires? Can you find any sort of news articles on Google News or whatever, around their industry or around their new products that they're launching or whatever? And so you just develop, in advance, you plan out a list of, let's say, 10 questions that you wanted to ask them to basically make the entire call about them. You say, number one, question, what would success look like to you with this partnership? Just let me Tell me. I want to know. I want to make sure that this partnership, right? Going back to this whole thing of like making sure that it's not just about me, me, me. It's also about them, them, ensuring that if they are going to be compensating you, that they are going to get a return on their investment, whether that's conversions, right? Sales, downloads on an app, whatever it is, whether it's content repurposing, meaning they actually hire you to create content that they can use in other ways, posting on their platforms, putting on their website, using for paid advertising, and so on, right? And then, or is it brand awareness, right? Are they really trying to get the word out there? It's a new product launch. They're trying to, get a grassroots support going for some new initiatives that they're doing with their company or whatever. That is the very first primary question that you should always be asking, right? Because you cannot provide to them a compelling proposal until you know that, right? You're not going to just say, oh, okay, it's going to be one YouTube video, one TikTok, one, a couple podcast ad reads or whatever, or I'll make a couple posts about you in my community. Like that's not enough, because they'll just be like, okay, well, like, I don't know, like we're going to pay this person $2,000. Like, are we really going to get a return on this? Not sure. You never want to have them have that question mark in their head. Not sure, right? You want to, have them know with certainty that like, okay, like, yeah, it seems like Justin seems really like he's got it like put together, right? He's put this proposal together for us. He's, articulated exactly, what he believes we're going to get in return for this investment, et cetera, right? So that's the first question, is like, what is success? Other questions like, have you run campaigns like this before? How have they gone? Have they gone well? Have they not gone so well? For the ones that went well, why do you think they went well? Is it the way that that partner executed it? Is there certain subtleties of something you can share with me? For the ones that didn't go so well, why do you think it didn't go well? So that I can avoid that, right? You don't say that, but like, right? So you need to know that information, right? If they can share that with you. So again, there's like an unlimited amount of questions. You can ask about their competition. You can ask about their industry. You can ask about their marketing strategies for the next year. You can ask about their product development, like what things are coming down the pipeline. There's so many things that you can ask brands about, and you just literally keep firing questions at them over and over and over. And if they ask you about your pricing, you say nothing. You say, thank you. This was so interesting. This was so helpful. I'm going to need to go back and give it some thought, and I'll get back to you, right? So these types of calls that you get on with brands can be so useful, because not only do you glean information that can help inform your proposal or your pitch that you're providing to them, but it will completely alleviate all this anxiety that you're feeling, because you are not being asked to say anything. You're not being asked to be a creative genius. All you're doing is asking them 10 questions or however many that you prepared in advance. That's it, right? So you go into these calls with just a lot more confidence, and that shows, right? And so there's been so many studies that have been done around this particular topic, which is that people generally gravitate to people who are confident versus people with expertise, right? They've done these crazy studies where it's like they will literally, like people will choose people, someone who will be like a doctor or something versus some layperson off the street, and some sort of these like research-backed academic studies that they do, where they'll go over, they'll like, people will like vote for the layperson's interpretation over someone who's like professionally trained in it, just because that person seemed more confident. Like you don't disclose the the job titles or whatever, the people who are like you're talking to. So anyways, it's very fascinating. And so in fact, I'm really excited because enrollment for Brand Deal Wizard, my 4-week course that I teach live 3 times a year, is actually opening in just a couple weeks. And we're changing up the structure. We're changing up the format again, y'all. I'm so excited because in addition to the 4 live sessions that I'm going to be teaching, my colleague Dee, who's an alumni of the program, and she's amazing. She's our community manager, she is going to be doing several sessions as well now, which I'm so excited about. And one of them is going to be all around the topic of confidence. How do you get it? When do you get it as a creator? How it can have such a large impact on your career, on the negotiations that you do, on the types of proposals you put together, and so on. So I'm really excited to kind of formalize a lot of this mindset stuff that we've been talking about in a lot of the content and newsletters and so on. But Dee is going to be helping bring some of that to life. And so I'm just so thrilled. Project Parenthood said, thank you so much for the good. If I sign off before you answer these, okay, hold on. Before you sign off, let me see if I can answer some of these. Let me take a sip. We started off as UGC creators. Now we've gained a following of about 24K between IG and TikTok. Can we still do UGC and sort of upsell like whitelisting? Such good knowledge. If I sign off before you answer, it's because I went back to work, just working for the day to retire from nursing. Wow. Thank you for this good education. You're welcome. 100%. Like, why not? Like, there's nothing to like saying that you can't do that just because you've grown your following. You can absolutely do that. And upselling whitelisting is one of the easiest ways to get additional, basically upsell yourself into making more money for the same amount of work, right? Where you're giving paid rights to brands to be able to boost your content, whether it's on TikTok or Instagram or Facebook or whatever, to be able to, repurpose and get more mileage out of these assets, that you're creating for them. So 100%, like, the fact that you've grown your audience in addition to being able to, help all these brands out with UGC, I think is awesome. So you can definitely do that. So have a wonderful rest of your workday, Project Parenthood. Hopefully that's helpful. Destined to Sparkle says, hello there. Kimberly Millionaire has said so many great things about you. Destined to Sparkle, that's so kind. Kimberly is incredible, and I'm so appreciative of her advocacy and her evangelism. So that's amazing. I'm so glad to meet you and that you're here. Absolutely. Okay. The Brim Factor said, thank you so much, Creator Wizard. This was super helpful. Yes, absolutely. You're so welcome. And will you keep me posted, Brim Factor, on how this call goes? Will you DM me and let me know how the call goes? Because I'm very invested in this now. I need to know how this went. Calls with brands are like one of my most favorite things, because it's just like, that's the secret. It's one of the secret hacks, guys. It's one of the secret hacks to like actually starting to make a lot of money with brands, because the vast majority of creators are just petrified to get on calls. Like, they're just, honestly, and if you're the one, if they're like, talking to, let's say, 10 or 20 different people, and you're the one who's like, let's hop on a call. Like, let's do this. Let's establish a rapport. Tell me your questions. This is going to be a collaborative effort. Like, that is going to be the differentiating factor between them saying, well, you know what, Justin, he's actually charging us 3 times the amount. There's all these other people, or 2 times the amount or whatever. But I think we're going to hire him anyway because we just like him. It just seems like the campaign is going to go well if we hire him. I can't tell you how many times brands will make that decision simply because they've established initial rapport with you. So getting on calls with brands, it's a little hack, okay? So just, you got to get out of that. You got to get out of that. Hey, Nia says, oh my God, I will take a phone call over an email any day. You know what, Nia, like, you are in the minority of creators, because the vast majority are terrified. At least in my experience, the creators that I've started coaching and things like that, it's just like, oh God, like, I don't want to get on a call. Like, are you kidding me? I don't know what I'm gonna say. All right. So anyways, that's great. You've got it going. You got an advantage then going for you. Let's see. Simple Life Info is asking, how much should I charge for whitelisting in addition to your regular post? Well, guess what, Simple Life Info? I have a dedicated YouTube video on my Creator Wizard channel talking exactly about how much to charge for whitelisting. So I would really, really encourage you guys to go watch that. But the TLDW, too long didn't watch, is you should be charging at a minimum 25% of the base deal size every 30-day period. Okay, so if the base deal size is $1,000, that you should be charging at least $250 per month incrementally on top of the $1,000. So if it's let's say it's a 3-month deal, that's going to be $750 additionally for the whitelisting, plus $1,000 for the base fee, and that's $1,750 for that deal. So, but you could start to see, like, as the base deal size starts getting larger, if it's a $5,000 deal, it's a $10,000 deal, like, that's $2,500 incrementally every month just for whitelisting. So this is how sometimes you can, oftentimes find yourself in a deal where you're actually making more money on the paid media rights, like usage that you've granted them, like more on that than actually the content creation, like, base rate. So like that, it's absolutely something that you need to educate yourself around as a creator, because brands really truly value this type of thing, because those ads just perform better. Content created by creators versus their, like, heavily, highly glossed up, heavily polished, and heavily produced stuff that their agency does, or their production company. Those ads just perform way better, candidly, right? So Hope that helps. Yes, friend, you said my name right. That made me so happy. Nia, how would you even spell your name other than Nia? I don't know. Hey Nia. Did people think like your username was like Hey Nia or something instead of Hey Nia? It just, I don't know. I took a stab. I guessed it. Hey Nia. Hot senior pups says they do. I don't know what they do. What you're saying they do too. You got to tell me. Let's see here. Simply in Control says too many gems. Can't keep up. Well, thank you very much, Simply in Control. Stoked for you to be here. Van Life Adventures just joined. Hannah Premia. Did I pronounce your name right? Hannah Premia. Haha, calls are so much easier than emails because I have less time to overthink. You know what? That's actually really funny because like, isn't that so true? Like we as creators, we get so fixated on our like, oh, is this the right thing? I don't know. Let me go back and forth. Let me redraft this. Let me edit this. Like, I don't know. Versus just like, you know what? This looks good. Let me send this. And just seeing what happens, right? So I love that you just kind of like go with your intuition, and on calls you kind of have no choice. You can't overanalyze anything on a call, right? K Jams said they had a question early higher up in the chat. Let me go find this if I can find it. K Jams. And K Jams is Miko. Miko had a question. Let me find it, Miko. Miko. Where is your question, Miko? Why can I not find it? Here. Miko, I plan on taking your course and getting into brand deals as I continue on my quest to 1,000 YouTube subscribers. My YouTube content is slightly edgier. Is this a turnoff for brands? Miko, let me know in the chat. What do you mean by edgier? Can you qualify this a little bit for me? Is it I don't know. Just let me know. I want to know in the chat. My answer to this is always I'm going to be very straight up. I'm always transparent. I'm not one to like sugarcoat things or anything. Being edgier, whether it's risque content, whether it's swearing in your content, making just essentially content that is like not super family friendly, that is going to limit the potential brands that you could partner with. Plain and simple, right? That's just the way it is, right? There's going to be brands who are just more traditional and they're just not going to be comfortable because the way in which they analyze this is from a risk mitigation perspective. So what I mean by that is that, they're thinking, okay, if we partner with this creator, is there any possible way that we can get blowback? Is there any possible way that some of our customers or some people who see this partnership will bombard our social platforms or bombard our customer service platforms and be like, how dare you partner with this person? They are like, so blah, blah, blah. They don't even use your brand, or they're like cussing up and this and that and like all this stuff, right? And so they are trying to minimize that, right? It's called brand safety, right? And so in their mind, it's always like, okay, risk mitigation. Like, is this person like, is it going to be okay? So that's the foundation of this conversation, okay? However, there are absolutely brands who will be totally down to partner with you, as long as that is their customer persona, right? So if their brand is a little bit edgier, the marketing that they put out is a little bit edgier, maybe they use profanity in their content, whatever it is, right? Perhaps those are the brands that you're going to want to be more targeted about approaching. And so let me scroll down here to see if Miko said something. Why you should stop watching the Kardashians, why Drake Bell's career is over. So yeah, I mean, I think that it sounds like perhaps this is like pop culture commentary and stuff like that. I don't necessarily think that's necessarily like risque or edgy per se. Miko says, what about bleeping out curse words? Some channels in my niche commentary just cover stories like this, and occasionally things are just being read or expressing opinions in the moment. I think that if it makes sense to you, I would absolutely think about potentially bleeping out curse words if you do curse, if that's cool with you, because I do think that could potentially broaden your net of working, because there are some brands who, like, if they hear any profanity at all in your content, they'll pass immediately. That's just the way it is, right? And so there will be a gray zone of brands who are like, okay, if she doesn't actually swear, she bleeps it out, it's just a little bit edgier, that's fine, we can still partner with her. So again, this has been my experience. I ran an influencer marketing agency for 7 years, and I can tell you with 100% certainty, we have had clients like this that just said, hey, We do not want to work with any channels who are risque, who are cursing, who are doing this. Like that is part of the brief. They say, this is the do's and don'ts. These are the types of creators we want to work with. These are the types of creators who fit with our brand. These are the types of creators who don't, right? And so this is a real thing, okay? And so brands are out there like actively recruiting people based on these requirements. And so what I would do is I would sing it. And Miko, like one of the things I think is the most important thing in your mind is like sit and think, okay, who are my dream brands? If let's say it's like 5 brands. If I am them, put yourself in their shoes. Why would they partner with me? Right? Like what reason can I give for them to partner with me? And so that can oftentimes inform your content strategy, right? Because it's not like you're just about like, oh, I just need to create a bunch of content that's only going to serve brands. Like that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, how can you create content that can serve both your audience and brands? And you can connect your audience with brands and products and services and stuff that they will actually find value from, right? So it's all about this kind of win-win-win strategy that you can put in place for your content and for your channel. And so like, at least based on what you told me right now, Miko, I don't think that that's like precludes you from working with brands, but I do believe there probably are some strategic things that you can do to ensure that you're maximizing your potential opportunities with brands. So hopefully that helps. Hannah Premia says, what is the investment cost for the upcoming brand deal wizard cohort? So the investment is $3,000 for a one-time payment, or it's there is an installment plan as well for 3 payments of $1,095. So that's the investment. And again, this is like a very, very intensive 4-week program. And so again, it's a nuts to bolts sponsorship strategy program to essentially take you through. Week 1 is all around pitching strategy. How do you craft a compelling proposal and pitch to a brand? How do you know who to reach out to? How do you actually write those emails, write those pitches, right? So that they'll actually open the emails, they'll get excited, they'll respond, they'll actually understand that they have to compensate you, that it's not just going to be for free products, right? Sometimes that's hard. Like you're pitching the brand and it's just like, sure, we'll send you it, right? It's like, no, like I want to work with you, but you still got to pay me, right? How do you actually say that, right? That's week 1. It's devoted to that. Week 2 is all around pricing strategy, packages, negotiation psychology, understanding your negotiating partner. There's so much psychology that goes into how you interact with brands during this phase when you're trying to, understand all the deal points, how you actually bring a proposal to life, right? Like nuts to bolts. Week 3 is all around executing the partnership. This is something that I literally do not hear anyone talking about, which is that, okay, once you actually sign on the dotted line and you have said, okay, I'm going to do this many deliverables, or I'm going to make these posts, or I'm going to, do this advocacy for your company or whatever. It's like during that phase where you're actually executing the deal, that is when the brand is ultimately going to decide whether they want to hire you again or not in the future, right? Because if you're really difficult to work with, they're just going to be like, never going to hire that person again, right? So we talk all about like, what are the ways in which you can make yourself an amazing partner, and almost like you're reading their mind throughout this process, so that it's actually making their life easier, not that they have to micromanage you, right? And then the final week is all around nurturing, right? So how do you actually nurture these relationships that you are forging with these brands? How do you turn one-off deals into ongoing partnerships where you can get some recurring income for yourself, some income stability, right? How can you actually craft case studies, right? How can you actually create post-campaign reports? So once you wrap a campaign, you put all your insights together in a neatly wrapped package and say, here you go. Here's all the things that all the things I went well. Here were some opportunities for improvement. And oh, by the way, I'm going to pitch you on my next idea based on these insights. So you do not let any time elapse between the conclusion of the campaign and when you're pitching them on that next idea. Right. So again, like it's not just the live sessions with me. We also have multiple live sessions with Dee, as well as guest speakers. So it's amazing. And you get access to replays too. So I know everyone's busy. And so if you're not able to attend any of the live sessions or some of the live sessions, there's definitely an opportunity to watch those at your leisure. But I do really, would really encourage, like, at least try to show up to some of the live cohorts, because as we have quite a few folks in here who are alumni, as they can probably vouch that, really the magic happens in the breakout sessions when you're talking with other creators about their businesses and so on. So it's really, really powerful. We've got Bert B. Tyler. What is going on? We got the Bateswood Company for joining in. Pardon me. Let's see here. We got our favorite Friends. What's going on, Logan? Good to see you. Good to see you. I'm pretty new. Destin Sparkle says I'm pretty new to all this, which is why Kim referred you. That's awesome. Thank you so much, Kimberly. Tony says, thanks, Justin. Got to take off. Absolutely. Thanks for showing up, man. And Paul, Green Industry Podcast in the chat here said, post-campaign reports, fire, fire, fire emoji. Paul knows what it's all about. Paul knows what it's all about with respect to post-campaign reports. Paul, let us know in the chat. Drop us just some gems here. What has been the outcome of you creating just a few post-campaign reports for some brands that you've worked with in the past? And I'll mind you that even if a campaign wrapped 6 months ago, or 9 months ago, or 12 months ago, and you're like, man, I wish I would have done that when that campaign wrapped, you can still do it now. You can still make a post-campaign report now and say to the brand, use this as an opportunity to reach back out to them and say, oh, I was just thinking about this campaign that we did, last year, right around the holiday time. It was so awesome. I absolutely loved it. I just wanted to put together some insights that I pulled from this partnership, whether it's screenshots of comments, screenshots of the performance, your own insights about how your audience reacted to it, maybe DMs that you got saying, oh, thank you so much. I went out and purchased the product. I didn't even know about this brand, right? Whatever. And then you send it to the brand and you use that as an excuse to restart the conversation. I'm telling y'all, this stuff works. I have been doing this over a decade. I have, as a creator personally, my wife and I have made over $4 million working with brands. That does not happen by accident, okay? We are not the largest creators. It's not like we have millions of followers. In fact, we do not have any platform that has over 1 million followers, right? We have total, like 1.5 million, something like that. But, most of our platforms do not have that. Okay, so this is something that anyone can do. Okay? I just want to make that very clear. We got Real Life with Amanda. We've got I Am Donnerine tuning in. Sundays with Emily. Thanks for tuning in, y'all. So what are your questions? Okay, because we've got about 10 minutes left in the live stream and would love to answer some of your questions. I'm going to take a swig because I'm running out of steam with my voice. Getting Negative is popping in the YouTube chat and is saying, hey, Justin, so happy I'm finally catching a live stream. You have helped me figure out how to monetize my channel with 183 subs. Let's just take a pause here for a moment here. Getting Negative said that we helped him monetize his channel, his or her channel, with 183 subs. Tell me more. Tell me more, Getting Negative. How did you do that? Tell me more. How did you do that? We got the mob management tuning in. What is going on? Well, you know what's so funny right here? This is hilarious to me. I Am Doreen. You just asked, how do you find a manager? And then the next person that joined in the IG chat was the mob management. So I think you need to go DM the mob management. They're one of the good ones. So definitely send them a message. If you want a manager, go DM the mob management. That's so funny. Okay, hold on. We got a testimonial real quick from Paul in the chat. Again, remember, Paul is one of my one-on-one coaching creators, clients. Okay, he said, I just shared a PCR with the brand. That got me the phone call. On that call, I learned their marketing initiatives and success metrics for 2023. Then I sent out a proposal for next year. Money bag, money bag, money bag. Okay, this stuff works, y'all. I'm telling you. Reaching out to them and being like, oh, how's it going? Just wondering if you're working on any paid campaigns right now. Stop doing that. That's not going to get you a call. That's not going to get you a meeting. You need to provide value every time you interact with a brand. Don't be an annoying, squeaky wheel. Yes, the squeaky wheel gets grease, but if you're continuously being squeaky and you're not providing any value, they're going to puncture your tire and be like, stop emailing me. They're not going to say that, but they'll just probably ghost you. Okay. Getting Negative says, it's a film photography channel. Holy cow. What a great name for a channel. Getting Negative. I love that. I'm working with my first client right now, 2,000 for a 10-minute video plus images for their social. Hold on a second here. Hold on. We need some sound effects for that one. Let's get some sound. I'm gonna do a wheel. Hold on. I'm gonna spin. I can't spin all the way around. Hold on. Woo! Okay, hold on. I have one thing I want to get. Hold on. Okay. Getting negative. Do you know what I just got out? I don't know if you know what this is. Getting negative. Can you let me know? Your name? I need to know your name because I'm about to do something very special for you. I'm going to start making this a tradition on the live stream. Whenever someone like gets paid, I want you to tell me your name because I'm about to do something very special for you. Okay. I'm going to do something very special for you. David. Okay, David, get ready. You're getting the money gun today, David. You're getting the money gun. You got the money gun, David. You didn't think I was going to bust that out, did you? But you are very, very deserving of the money gun today. I think maybe I'm going to reserve it for like one creator per live stream who does something amazing. Okay. And that was you today, David. So congratulations. Really proud of you. Yeah. Oh, and Paul said about the PCR. Oh, yeah. Real quickly. Sorry. Colorado Whiskey Guy. PCR stands for post campaign report. This is a report because what do most creators do? Most creators do after they wrap a campaign with a brand is they do not reach out to the brand. They wait for the brand to message them and wait for the brand to ask them for their insights. They say, "Oh, can you take some screenshots of your, YouTube analytics or your Instagram analytics, your TikTok, whatever? Send the screenshot over." You send the screenshot over and then nothing. Maybe you send the invoice and then you literally never talk to the brand again. Like why? No, don't do that. What you need to do is put together a post-campaign report, Colorado Whiskey Guy. That's what we're talking about, right? As you actually coming to them and saying, here are my insights into this campaign. Here is what I've learned. Here are some DMs I got. Here are some screenshots of some amazing comments of people saying, "Oh my gosh, David, thank you so much. I didn't know that Kodak made a film camera that had, 24 frames." I'm like making stuff up. I'm not a film person, so I'm totally making it up. But right, like you're giving those people those insights, the brand those insights, and they're going to be like, "Wow, like this is really helpful." And then you pitch them on the next idea, right? Anyways, I'm talking this thing to death. Real quickly, Taken Babix. Did I pronounce that correctly? You helped me learn how to craft my message to brands to show my value. I went from gifted to $600 a video. Hold on. You know what I'm doing? I'm taking a screenshot of that comment because that makes me so happy. And oh wait, my face looks so dumb on that though. So hold on, let me smile. That's so dope. Can you tell me your name? Hold on, I gotta save this because if I don't save this, I'm gonna lose it. Tell me your name, and that makes me so happy, like really happy. I'm sending this to myself because if I don't, I'll forget it if I don't do this. Yes, please let me know because that makes me so happy. And what was it specifically? What was it specifically? Oh, wait. Oh, no. Did I leave the live stream? Did I leave the live stream when I took the screenshot? I don't know if I was still talking. Let me know in the chat. What is your name? I really need to know what happened. Like, how did you convert from free or gifted to $600 a video? That's like dope. That's so dope. Yeah, you got to tell me that. I am Doreen in the chat is loving the money gun. Is that what you're laughing about, Donarine? Sorry, not Doreen. Donarine. Is that what you're laughing about? Because I've still got the money gun. If someone else gives me a win, I may do an honorary money gun for the person who has another win. Although you know what, Taken Babix, that actually could get an honorary win for converting to gifted to 600. That's pretty dope. Side Hustle Shuffle says, thanks, man. That is golden. Miko had a question here. Can you monetize Instagram content that doesn't consist of videos? Yeah, for sure. I mean, you can absolutely monetize them, for brands that find value in non-video content. Maybe it's pictures, right? Like my wife and I do deals all the time that are still picture related. And, I actually do get this question a lot of like, can you monetize like meme accounts, or can you monetize stuff that doesn't include an actual person? And it's just like kind of almost like a curation account. It's like curating news articles or memes or something like that. And to be honest, those are a lot more difficult to monetize for sure. Because most of the time brands want to partner with like an actual person. they don't just want to partner with like someone's account, like, oh, it's like a meme account or something, right? And so it's because it's not a meme account. But yeah, I mean, I think that, generally, yes, it's totally possible to do non-video partnerships, but candidly, most brands these days, usually video is almost always going to, a lot of them are going to want that type of content. Y'all, we've reached the end of another Friday live stream. Thank y'all for showing up at I had no idea if anyone was going to show up because it was like 3 hours later than I normally do my stream. But you know what? I commit to y'all that I'm going to be here every single week, every single Friday, or at least every single week. Right? Usually it's on Fridays, but I couldn't make it. Again, I wanted to make some time for my kids for a special event at their school. And so I pushed my live stream. Family is always going to be the number one most important thing to me in my life. And so I appreciate your grace and allowing me to push it back a little bit, and hope you found value from the live stream. Next week, I will be back at the original time. I think. Yeah, I think so. 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. And I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you on the flip side. Have a great weekend. Peace.